Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Stephen and Kori. This is season 1, episode number 5 already. I'm Stephen and
I'm Kori. Welcome to
wow,
Get It Together Together.
get it together.
Together. We're together. And
Yes,
we are getting it together. We are in a constant get it together. I don't
absolutely.
think it stops.
Well, you know what's exciting,
What?
ladies and gentlemen, is that this lady has been my girl for 42 years.
Yeah, that's true.
42
That's true.
years,
That's
and
true.
we've been married for 40 years.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. And I never, you know what? I never have had a doubt that was this the right thing to do. Well, that's not true.
Well,
We did go through a doubt. What am I saying?
we've been through a
You
lot,
know
but
what?
here's the thing.
I'm living in a wonderful time now. I never had a doubt. Some marriages, they're so new. They're like, I never had a doubt. But there are times in your marriage you're like, did I marry the right man? Is this the right thing for me? Or is this the right woman? And then you go through whatever you go through and you realize you did.
You know, the thing is that we started this with an idea, thinking about, as we were entering our 40th year, we were thinking about, okay, what can we do to give back? And I will
Mhm.
tell you that in 5 episodes already, we are so excited to
Yeah.
be, doing this and
Mhm.
having these conversations with you guys about things that are really relevant
Yeah.
about couples. And we're actually on the other side of it now, because we're on the side where if I'm thinking something, I could literally be thinking about calling her
Yeah.
and my phone will ring. It'll
But
be
I will
her.
tell you what, this episode, we're not on the other side of it yet.
No, that's
You
true.
kind of are, but
Yeah.
I'm not. I am still going through the struggle, going through the war, the battle. So it's exciting to be able to talk about something that we're still going through because,
Sure.
maybe our audience can help me,
Well,
and
yeah,
help
sorry.
you and help you as the spouse to encourage the other partner.
Right. All right. So our topic.
You can bring it up since I'm still going through it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a little drinky here.
Yeah. Drinking your tea.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So our topic is coping with physical change, appearance, health, and your general sort of wellness.
Yeah. Physical abilities.
And fitness and those kind of
Mhm,
things.
mhm.
This is really all about, should it be suggested that, over time, as you guys are together, that you change, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you
That you
will
change.
change. Yeah, you will change. But here's the key in that. Dealing with those physical changes. Now, some people say, well,
We're sugarcoating it right now, but we're going to get to the meat of
dealing with
this.
those physical changes, some people it has affected from, and we're not using this as an excuse, but the post-pandemic, it has literally affected people because of the depression or maybe they became ill
Eating too much.
or they became ill because of COVID and they can't do the things that they used to be able to do, which causes, again, depression or lack of self-esteem. So those physical changes can hit up here too.
Psychological.
Yeah, definitely. Emotional, psychological changes too. So when we're coping with those physical changes, we've all heard about the pandemic pounds. Pandemic pounds are real, people. How many people in the audience can give a comment and put a hands up and say, yes, I gained weight during the pandemic. Pandemic pounds are real because you're not active as well. They locked you in for so long that you couldn't be active. And then when you got back out there, you had to redo. And people like to eat. I like to eat.
Yeah.
I like to eat. So
I was speaking with a client earlier this week, and they were telling me, they gained a lot of weight over the last, year or so because they got this some new griddle called a Blackstone or something. He's like, I can cook pancakes. I can cook that. He's like, I mean, my God, I'm just so much stuff I can cook on this.
So where did that
And
come from though? Where did that weight gain come from outside of the pandemic pounds? What happens to people? They get comfortable with
They
each
get
other.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So one of the things that is really important is people have to focus on staying presentable
Mhm.
to their mate.
Mhm.
You don't do it for your mate, you do it for yourself.
Yeah. Well, we can justify it as, well, you know what? I got mine now. I can just give into the comfort of having a spouse or having a partner because I worked really hard to get that. So I'm not going to work anymore on my body or on myself. The physical changes to keep it,
Right.
And so that's the downside is there's a lot of lazy people out there.
Right.
And you front
Exactly.
when you want to look a certain way, but then when you have the person, all of a sudden your belly gets bigger or your hips get wider, and you're like, well, I'm just in love. There's another one. Those I'm married now and I've gained that first year weight. What? Why are you gaining weight your first year? Because you got married.
Right.
It doesn't mean you just stop life. But people do. They gain weight because they say I'm happy. Can you tell I'm happy? Look at my face. It's like, okay, you can be happy and fit.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we have to get rid of the excuses that are so relevant out there. I mean, they're everywhere. We can grab excuses for physical changes all day long, but the base of it is, where does it stem from?
Well, I mean, I think back when we first met each other, what was that, 1982,
Oh my
maybe?
gosh.
And you were like,
81,
I don't
82.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
size 2.5, maybe 3, something like
I was a
that.
size
But
4. I've
you
never been
were
a 2 and a
like,
half. I'd like to be in
I
2 and a half.
mean,
But
hourglass. It was
Marilyn
incredible.
Monroe had nothing on me. Come on. I was hot.
Sister girl
But
was hot.
I was. I mean, and I was proud of it too, because I knew it.
And may I say,
I knew it.
still are.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you. So you guys, this is my struggle. My weight right now, I really work hard. I shouldn't say I've struggled with it anymore. I have learned how to handle or how to work with my weight, but it's been a trial. So forget about me for now. Just in general, that whole process of getting comfortable or seeing yourself as you were and not and struggling. When you struggle to get back to where you were, if it's not realistic,
well, let's talk about where you were. Where
well,
were
we're
you?
not talking about me yet.
Yeah.
We'll talk about me. I just want, you know. Okay, so you guys, he's
Hey,
really.
this is a
he's-
highly sensitive.
Oh, yeah, and I don't want to
can't
talk
even,
about me right now.
I can't even believe we're having this conversation because we may have to lock it up and shut this
Let me
deal
tell you,
down.
he can't believe we're having it because I'm like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about. If
But
I
I
could,
said we have to
if I
talk
could
about
have the best legs, I would have his legs.
it. Yeah, we have to
I mean,
talk.
oh my
Don't
gosh.
talk about my legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's there.
I-
And when I tell him, I say, you have the best body ever, and he
But I
said,
keep
thank you.
telling her.
And then he says, you do too. I'm like, that's such a lie.
Yeah. What am I supposed to say, guys? What?
No, you're supposed to say that.
Ladies and
Just
gentlemen, if
lie
you're
to
on
me.
this podcast, what am I supposed to say? Oh, well, here's one. Okay, here's one. Let's talk right to the camera here. All right, you ladies, okay, you put this outfit on and you go to your husband and you say, how does this look, honey? Okay, you know how it looks before you go ask
And he
us.
wants to say, where's your girdle? Do you have the girdle on? Where's the girdle?
Dude, guys, don't answer that question with anything other than, honey, you look fantastic.
Yeah. No, or how do you
No,
feel?
and
Or
maybe
how do
you say-
feel it? Put it back on them.
You know what I learned? Here's what I learned. I asked my wife, do you want the truth? Right?
Mhm.
Do you want the truth or do you want what I know you want to hear? Remember that? I asked
Yeah,
you that from time
But
to time.
don't say that, because that's the worst. Because a wife is like, well, I want to hear I don't want the truth.
Look, it's guys, if it doesn't look good, ask her, do you
most
want
of-
the truth? If the truth is no, then
No,
tell her no.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I
Don't say
disagree.
that. Because she's looking in the mirror and she knows what she looks like.
Oh, of course, and don't
So-
be asking us.
So don't
Guys, help me out now.
so don't give her what she doesn't want. The reason why she's asking you is because she doesn't like the way she looks either. So just agree with her and say, I think you have something better. You've done that.
I think you look good, honey.
You have said, as a matter of fact, last night we went out and I said, what about this? He goes, I think you've got something better in the closet.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
learned.
like, you know what? You're right. I do. And he's like, and you'll tell me, I like this on you. It compliments this. And so you don't say
true.
your hips are too big. You say, I like this on
I
you.
have
And
been
when-
guilty of that
and-
before
and-
in the way past. You
That-
can see this is kind of an explosive conversation.
It is, but it's real.
We got to hit this.
It's real.
I mean,
It's real.
we
So
do
wait,
have
wait.
to go here. That's for
So
sure.
here's a couple of things. Less active. How do we get there? That's why I was trying to get there.
yeah.
So how we get there is less activities.
Right.
Dressing and trying to pull on dresses and clothing that you wore before that you really can't fit now. You know what that does? That causes you to buy the extra size up instead of try to lose weight to get into it. Because you're like, well, I can't fit that size, so I'll just go shopping and buy bigger sizes. That's not going to help you reduce the size.
Right.
So that you can fit back into those clothes.
Mhm.
So what happens to us? We get comfortable in being uncomfortable.
Yes,
It's like what do you say? The dog on the porch?
that's right.
Tell him that
laying
story,
on
yeah.
the nail. Little dog's laying on the nail. And, every now and then you hear this little moan and you wonder what's going on. And all of a sudden the owner comes out and says, oh, he's laying on a nail, but it doesn't hurt him enough to get up and move. He just wants to complain every now and
Yeah.
then.
And so there you go. The weight doesn't hurt enough to move. However, is it hurting your spouse
Right.
and the way your spouse sees you?
That's right.
Because the physical appearance matters. Men are more physical in their approach to communication than women. Women are physical in judgment. Look at that on her. I can't believe, is she wearing that? Is that a weave? Oh my gosh, I can see the tracks. All that stuff. Women are critical on that. However, men are visual and their stimulation comes in visual. So if you really want to keep your man and and the men want to be happy with what they're seeing, the men have to, first of all, like you have said, this is what looks good on you. I really like this on you. You're good at complimenting me on
Thank you.
what accentuates my figure or how I look. So if that be the case, then find those items while you're in the process of losing the weight, or while you're in the process of, you know, whatever disability that maybe post pandemic has happened. If you can't get out there and work out, if you found yourself ill because of the COVID, whatever it is that you're trying to do to get yourself, your health and your appearance back to where it should be, in the process, be the best version of yourself.
Right.
Be the best looking person that you can.
Well, I think sometimes people start to justify it and they give in to it as
Mhm.
though they have no ability
Yeah.
to change what is going on.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
You know,
And I think because of these, like I was saying, these health scares, couples have to be more sensitive too.
sure,
Especially if you're like a upfront, harsh, or you just put it out there. Think about not just you and your spouse, but the others that you're around. Wait a minute, I wanted to touch on this
okay,
too. The other people that you're around, because if you have friends who are couples and they're going through a health scare, or something has happened to them where they are not at their peak as they were, be sensitive to that when you're with them,
sure,
because couples need couples as friends. You know,
absolutely.
yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, I was going to transition and
No, go
get
ahead. Yeah,
into
you're good.
some of our stats.
Mhm,
Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time watching, we
mhm.
normally give you some stats and facts that are relevant to the topic
Yeah.
that we're discussing. So here's some stats and facts on some research. According to the results of a survey by Advanced Dermatology, in which over 1,400 folks were that are in relationships, they were polled. And the survey says that 89% said their partner's appearance had changed over the course of their marriage.
Mhm.
Next stat, 63% said their partner's looks had
Yeah.
gotten worse.
Mhm.
And now 69% took issue with their partner's grooming,
Oh,
took issue with
yeah.
their partner's grooming.
Yeah. Well,
And then,
we talked a little bit about that on episode 1.
oh, yeah, absolutely. We're
Yeah.
going to continue
Yeah.
to talk about
Yeah.
those. Now, 79% said they wish their partner would lose weight.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that could be 10 pounds. That could be just a little pudge.
Well, yeah,
It
but
doesn't have to be
here's my
massive.
question though. Do you think that 79% that said they wish their partner would lose weight have communicated that to their
I don't
partner?
know. I have no
I
idea.
guarantee you they
I don't
have.
know.
If certainly if it's the wife that's gay and the husband's not going to say that. Husband's
Well,
not going
yeah,
to say that.
that's true. And I think, well, let's put it this
He's not
way.
allowed to.
Let's put it this way. There's a lot of women who say, "Yeah, my husband has a dad bod." What's that mean, a dad bod? The father didn't have kids. He didn't birth kids, so why does he have to have? He gets to have a dad bod, but mom body, but mom doesn't get to have a mom body. So it's like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got? Let me see. Let me
Yeah.
read one. Where
This
you
one
got?
right here, according to
According to the American Psychological Association (APA), a majority of adults, 61%, reported experiencing undesired weight changes since the start of the pandemic. Well, that makes sense. Undesired weight changes because no activity.
yes.
No activity. So if you're doing nothing, it's undesired. But where are you gonna go if you're shut in the house?
Sure.
Unless you have an elliptical upstairs in your gym, or wherever, where are you gonna go? So that makes sense. Nearly half of Americans, 47%, said that they delayed or canceled healthcare services since the pandemic started. So they're delaying or canceling healthcare services. What's that mean? Physicals, that might be healthcare services, could
Sure.
be uh, dietitians, it could be anything that has to do with health.
Right.
They delayed it. So
Mhm.
why would they delay it, especially if during the pandemic? Why would you delay that? If anything, unless they just couldn't get an appointment, unless it was so busy. So again, we're finding that are they really taking care of themselves?
According to these numbers,
They're not.
people need to improve in this area.
Nearly 1 in 4 adults, 23%, reported drinking more alcohol to cope with their stress during the coronavirus pandemic. Well, we all listen. If you guys,
We're
I
pandemic
can
to death
we
now.
are, but I can remember. I can remember watching YouTube videos of neighbors showing their next door neighbors trash, and how many cans of beer and bottles of alcohol and wine were in their trash containers going out to put. It was crazy. Everybody was drinking because if you're sad or down, they would drink alcohol.
Sure.
That's like one of the worst things for your skin, So again, it happens. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. So this is a subject we touched on earlier that
Mhm.
it has affected us
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I
You
will
know?
tell you guys, okay, so for me, I am 5'4", okay, 5'3" and 3/4, but I like to say 5'4". And as a kid, I started like at my sister helped me. Well, my sister encouraged me at 5 or 6 years old to start in gymnastics. So I was a gymnast and then I went into cheerleading and I was in track and field. So I was a sprinter and I did shot put. So I was an active kid, and I did cheerleading, football, and basketball. So I was constantly active
Throughout high school as well,
throughout
right?
high school. Yeah. Yeah. When I got to college, I went to New York City where we met. And you're walking everywhere in New York, you walk.
Right.
So walking 3 or 4 miles a day was nothing, and walking fast because if you're a New Yorker, you're walking fast. You have to. I mean, just getting there. If you're walking slow, you're going to get ran over. So, and I walked everywhere because I lived in Manhattan, so it wasn't like I was taking the subways.
Of
So
course.
again, the speed of my life was busy. Well, guess what? When I was in high school, I was eating at McDonald's after every basketball game. We'd go to McDonald's, and I'd get a Big Mac. Ready for this? I get a Big Mac. I never liked French fries, but I get an apple pie, a Big Mac, and a chocolate milkshake
Oh, nice.
once a week. And I was tiny because I'm a kid. I'm still growing,
Yeah, but
and I was an
you're a young
athlete.
adult at least by
Well,
then.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm a teenager, a young adult, but I'm an athlete also. So I'm eating this stuff. And then I go to New York and I don't want McDonald's anymore because I'm in college now, but I was eating pizzas, which every college student eats pizzas, right? Pizzas and bagels and, everything that you can eat on the streets in New York. I'm eating that, but I'm walking again. I'm walking everywhere I'm going. I'm walking. And of course, college students, we go out and party, So I'm dancing at the discos and, we're playing at the beach and
Studio 54,
yeah,
Xenon. Remember Xenons?
yes.
Remember the garage?
I remember the garage.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. So,
What was
burning up
that
those
was
calories.
down in the villages, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yep. So burning all those calories. And then guess what? I get married at 20 and I get a car and we move to the suburbs. Well, guess what you stop doing? Walking.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, I'm eating the same food. Now my butt is in a car, and then I drive my butt to work, and I'm sitting in the chair all day at work, and then I get my butt back in the car, and I drive home, and then I sit my butt on the sofa and I watch TV. Well, I'm still eating the same stuff. So guess what? My butt's growing, and the rest of my body. But again, I'm 20, so it's really not affecting me because I still have a teenager's body.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just admit it. You're 20, you still have a teenager's body, So I'm looking good. I'm like, you guys,
And she was.
I'm going to tell you I was a 36, 22,
Woo!
34.
Nice.
Okay? Yeah, if I could get back to there, Jesus, please. I would be maybe
Yes,
I don't
Lord.
maybe I don't need to because I'd probably have an ego. But anyway, I knew I looked good. And so here I am at 20 living this life. But again,
About 110 pounds soaking wet.
yes, yeah. So then all of a sudden, I have a baby at 25.
Yeah,
We
but you
have
snapped right back.
yeah, but it wasn't. You thought I snapped back, but it was a little hard for me. So anyway, my point is life changes.
Yes.
Bodies change. I'm not 20. Nobody at 20 very few people at 20 are going to have the same body when they're 50, even 30, because you evolve. Your body even is changing. Your hormones are changing. And as long as you can accept that, I think the trial with most women is they see Hollywood and
Exactly.
they look at Hollywood, which is the worst place to look. Any form of entertainment is a falsity. But, they look at that and they think, I want to look like that.
Right.
Well, that's all these people do is work out so that they can perform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's really fascinating because how things have evolved. But, as a kid growing up, I was fat. And
Yeah.
I just, to put it out there, I was fat
was.
through middle school. And then I got involved in the martial arts
Mhm.
and got started training and running and lifting weights and so forth. And the blubber just fell off.
Listen, you guys,
It really did.
I met him in college, and this man had a body like Bruce Lee. When I met him, I'm not kidding. He was third-degree black belt, and he was doing kicks. He was doing splits against the wall. Okay, not only splits on the floor, but splits
Those
against
were
the
the
wall.
days.
And he would. So, my point is, literally, he had a body like the whole abs and just lean and flexible and all that stuff. Okay. Didn't you train with one of Bruce Lee's trainers? Yeah. So you trained
I
with a
did.
trainer of Bruce Lee's. Okay.
Yes.
So there you go.
Eastern Taekwondo on Lexington Avenue in New
In New
York
York
City.
City. Okay. So I'm at his dorm and we're sitting there talking. Now we were friends first. So I'm sitting there talking to him and I see this picture. I see this newspaper article and it's on his wall and it's cut out, it's on his wall. And I said, "Who's that?" And it's this fat kid with this big afro in a taekwondo uniform. And he goes, "That's me." I
That was
said,
me.
"That's not you." He goes, "Yes, it is." I'm like, "You were that fat?" And he goes, I said, "Oh my gosh, what did you do?" And he said, "I just, what, 60
Oh my
pounds." He
gosh.
lost 60 pounds on his own, right?
And
Was it 60 or
I
70
did,
pounds? Yeah.
yeah. And so, but what I learned in the process of that transformation is how much work and effort it actually takes. And it's a mindset.
Mhm.
It's a mindset. And we really should shift gears here and really,
Oh, now that we're talking about him being fat, let's
yeah.
shift gears. I'm sitting
I
here.
know. I mean, I think we have to hit this hard because I think we really do have to go here because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think there are some situations that are going on today in marriages
Mhm.
where couples are just unwilling to confront them,
Yeah.
you know? So ladies and gentlemen, if you're not going to like this, but the reality is that we do have to go here and we have to say for sure, wives, there's wives listening to this, that their husbands have gained too much weight. It's just a fact. Your husband's gotten fat. Same thing on the flip side. Husbands, some of your wives have gotten fat,
Mhm.
gained too much weight. And you guys need to talk about it because it's affecting your relationship with each other. It can change, but you have to make sure that you understand you're going to get in shape for you. You do it for you, and your
Mhm.
spouse gets a chance to take advantage of that.
Mhm.
But you have to do it for yourself, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
What
yeah.
would you say?
Well, I will say this, most if you have children in the home, most wives will put it on, "Well, I've had children, so it's hard to lose weight." And that's a fact
Mhm.
because, when you have a child, yes, they're sucking the hormones out of you anyway,
That's right.
and so then you gotta rebuild your own hormones while you're tired with, what's it called? Post, menopause, post,
Postpartum.
partum, yeah, postpartum of after having the baby. So all of those things have to be rebuilt, and it takes a mindset
Right.
because if you've had children and you're still in the process of having children, you're still in that age that you're still having children, your body is going to
It's
change.
going to change.
And what you feed your children, most likely you're going to eat too. So you got to
Exactly.
watch that. And then you got to get your rest and all those things that go into play. And especially if the wife is or the mother is working and raising children at the same time, that's a stress level that can build cortisol levels.
Right.
So not only, again, is it the physical change in your body, it's the facial change, the appearance, the hair can fall out, all these things, the gray comes in, the wrinkles, the tired, the dark eyes underneath. That's just the wife. Forget about the husband, who's like, just trying to get enough sleep to wake up in the morning to go to work. Meanwhile, baby's crying in the back and the mother's saying, "Honey, can you pick up the honeydew, honeydew?" And he's tired. He's like, "If I could just go to work to get away from stress, and then come home again." So all these things go into play with making sure that you take care of yourself, a personal responsibility.
Yes.
And it's a matter of acknowledging that, yes, it's okay that your body is changing. Don't fight it. Just learn how to work with the
Work
body
with it.
while it's changing. That's what I had to
It's
do.
a personal
It
responsibility, though. I
is.
mean, you have to give this the respect
It is.
and the discipline it takes. And it is a mindset.
Yeah.
You guys, we're supposed to take care of ourselves
Mhm.
so that we can present something of value to our
Yeah.
spouse. It's not fair for you to get married and you look a certain way and then you just let yourself
Yeah.
go. I'm talking on both sides of the
Mhm.
equation.
Mhm.
It is not right.
No, no, it's not
Right.
right at all. Right.
Based on that, let's make a little shift here.
Okay.
We've got some questions that
Oh,
have come
yes,
in
we have our
through
question
our focus
Yes.
group,
Yes.
and we're going to see if we can answer a few of these.
Okay. You go first.
All right, so here we go.
Okay. What you got? Oh, man, that's
Ooh,
long.
okay. This one says, my partner used to dress really nice, sexy before the pandemic made our jobs remote, and now they don't anymore. I miss that, and I don't know how to address that without making them mad. What should I do? You can take that one, Mrs. Burgess.
Okay. I will tell you the first thing you can do is give them a gift card or shop for them. Go shopping with them, shop for them. If it's a male, we mentioned this before. At one point, Stephen had silk boxer shorts because it was attractive to me. I'm sure he's like, Silk, this is kind of, but he did it
I
anyway.
actually
Because
enjoyed them.
did you? Okay, well, we'll have to get you some more.
Yes.
Can you still fit those? No, he
I
can't.
have to check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't either, but
Yeah.
you can't either. No, but buying those sexy outfits, whether there be pajamas or, if you like your man in a certain type of a shirt that's a more fitted shirt and he can get away with wearing it, then buy him a fitted shirt.
I like it.
Or if your wife, if you like to see them in a V-neck, like you like to see me in V-necks,
Low cut V-necks.
for him, but buy her a V-neck or tell her, hey, let's go shopping. And it doesn't even have to be expensive. There are places you can go to, all kinds of discount places, and get fun stuff.
Okay.
And that could be a whole nother story with depending on why they don't do it.
Sure. Absolutely. All right. Here's another one. Do you want to read this one?
Sure.
I'll give it to you.
That means you get to answer it.
Uh-oh. Okay.
My partner is finding it less and less necessary to, sorry. Okay. My partner is finding it less and less necessary to shower lately. Keeping it real, they stink.
Oh my.
How do I address that without offending them?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, personal hygiene is
gosh.
job number one.
Sorry, there might be people out there, and I just showed my expression.
I mean, well, thank you for
Yeah.
sending that in, but
Yeah.
personal hygiene is critical.
You know
That
what?
is
Wait a
like,
minute. What's it say? How do I address this without being offending them? They're offending you by stinking.
yeah.
Say, oh, come on, honey. Take a shower.
You know, honestly, this is something that they're going through
Yeah,
this,
but-
and this is a real deal. Here's the
And
thing.
it could be that they smell because they're putting off a bad odor because of what they eat, again, or they're not drinking enough water, so they're constantly in a funky smell, because that can happen. If you eat a lot of garlic, guess what? That garlic oozes through your skin. Everything else too. You just don't smell it or you don't realize it because it's not harsh. But watch what you're eating, watch how much you're drinking and what you're drinking.
Exactly.
Not sodas and sugary things, but water, tea, things that are good for your body. And tell them you smell.
Yeah.
You can't. They're your partner. If I said to you, Stephen, you're kind of funky, you're smelly. That's not going to offend you. You're going to probably go, oh my gosh, am I?
Right.
No partner is so sensitive. That hurts my feelings. You said I'm stinky. Well, you are stinky.
Well,
Wouldn't
ladies and
you rather hear from your partner than somebody down the street who says, I'm not going to hire you anymore because you stink?
Well, let's see what they think. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing this, what do you think?
Yeah.
All right. Are we off track here? Tell us, because what we're saying is there's no excuse for that, essentially.
And
No
I think
excuse.
partners
Zero.
are
Zip.
not. If you feel tender or sensitive to that, you're going to offend them. I don't think that partner would want you not telling them, because if they don't know they're funky, and they've got to know if they're not showering. Or here's the thing: take a shower with them.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, let's take a shower
That
together.
could be fun.
And then scrub the hell out of them. It's like, turn around.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Here's one. There's many more, but we're running out of time here, so I'll read this one. My partner became obsessed with working out over the past couple of years. Now they are very muscular, and I am not really a fan. Do I even have the right to feel this way? And how do I deal with it? Well, first of all, I think you should compliment them.
Yeah.
You should compliment them on their hard work, because like we said, this is sounds like your husband is working out and getting fit. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have your husband with a spare tire and man boobs
a
and
threat of osteoporosis
Oh,
because they're
yeah,
not building their
exactly.
muscles well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like anything that is fitness oriented, if your spouse is involved in doing that, you should encourage them.
Listen, we have some friends or some acquaintances that we raised our kids with, and he was a musclehead. I mean, his neck was out to here, big guy, and his wife was a little taller than him, and she was fit, but she was not as huge as him. And she used to say, I wish blank blank wasn't at the gym so much, but he loved it. He loved it, and it made him feel good. I don't know, because maybe he wasn't as tall as her, but he was able to protect her and be big. So sometimes the person who's all in the fitness and really trying to accomplish something, that could be something that they need psychologically too.
Right. Exactly.
So edify that and say, hey, I'd rather, like you said, I'd rather you be fit than look like the sofa.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that takes effort. So
Yeah.
we need to wrap this up. This has been really, really fun.
That went fast.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it has been fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking about coping with physical change. And basically, for the most part, it's one of you or both of you,
Mhm.
getting overweight, getting fat. and having to do something about this and make
And
yourself
also,
presentable to your
and not
spouse.
just physical, but
Also hygiene
hygiene
wise,
wise,
those kind of things.
and just taking care of not just the weight, but the
The
body.
body, and doing it for you. All
Mhm.
right, you do it for you,
Yeah.
and then your partner is the
I do want to let me
beneficiary.
say this. So you guys, as I said, I'm still working through. I had to go through a time because I've been through menopause. And with you women out there have been through menopause and you men have been through andropause, which we're going to discuss in a whole nother
Whole
show.
nother
So
show.
send those questions in.
Don't miss that
You
one.
know that weight gain can be a given. Most of the cases, weight gain, not weight loss. And so I had to go through that. And I had to come to a point where, and I shouldn't say I had to, I'm fortunate that I came to a point where I understand my weight and I understand what I need to do to be happy with my weight
Right.
as I continue to get back to where I would like to be. And I'm not saying back to 20, because that, again, I was a child, but get to a point where I'm comfortable in my clothes. It's not necessarily a scale, it's how I feel in my clothes and how I look at my clothes.
Right.
When you can get to that point, there's no pressure on, I need to get on the scale, or you want to put the things in your mouth that make you look the best you can look, whether it be for your skin, for your hair, for your nails, for your body. Those are important, for your muscles, for your bone structure. All those things are important, and it takes some effort.
Exactly. In the Bible, there's a chapter in Genesis, the first book of the Bible, Genesis chapter 6, verse 3 says that the day shall be 120.
Mhm, mhm.
120.
And that's a promise.
That's a promise.
That's a promise. Yeah.
So what if you could at least get to 90?
Yeah.
Right?
I plan on getting 120.
Same here.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
it's been a
yes.
pleasure.
It has. Thank you so much. And again, comment, like, share.
We're coming at you
For those
every week.
people that that would enjoy this, invite them on.
That's right.
And also remember to
Send your comments.
send your comments.
Send your questions.
Send your questions, especially. Yes. And who would you like us to host? Because next season we're going to have company.
That's right. That's right.
So we're going to have guests on, and they might not be people
We already have a
immediately.
list, by the way.
Yes, we do. But these are some phenomenal couples that we have reached out to, and they said they would be honored to be on. So
Absolutely.
if you think of someone that you would like to see on here with us, let us know. We would love to do that in the next season.
So until next week,
get it together.
Get it together.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.